Now we have a global address on 5G worldwide and lessons for India by Mr. Julian Gorman, Head of Asia Pacific GSMA. Welcome, Mr. Gorman.
Honourable Minister for Communications, Director General of GSMA, Matt Vanred, and distinguished guests and speakers. It's my pleasure and honour to be with you here today. Thank you to the Economic Times for this year's edition of the 5G Congress and inviting GSMA to be part of the prestigious speaker agenda. In a few moments, I'll be providing my views on lessons for India's 5G journey from around the world. But at the start, I would like to say the public debate of policy, strategy, and vision for 5G as a foundation for the future of a strong and sustainable digital nation is paramount across the world. So congratulations to Economic Times for continuing to support the discussion. We are now well into the 5G era, and where more than 70 countries have now launched 5G using mid or low band around the world. Only around 10 have launched with millimeter wave so far. But 5G devices are available around the world, even in markets without 5G, highlighting a stark difference with previous generations when networks often came before devices. Last year, I started by presenting a similar slide at this event, and this is a summary of the key data points from GSMA's Mobile Economy Report, which we published this year's version at Mobile World Congress Barcelona just last week. The points I would like to highlight today as part of this conversation is the acceleration in adoption and rollout from last year's forecast for what was going to occur in 2025, with some significant increases in adoption metrics, which I'll refer to in a moment. So what has happened in the last 12 months to so significantly change our forecast? Well, key drivers have been economic recovery from the pandemic, being above expectations, and finally, timeline of 5G launches being accelerated, and investment and marketing of 5G by mobile operators has helped 5G, along with the increased availability of devices, be the fastest growing generation by a significant margin of any mobile technology generation before. So to point your focus at a few key metrics for 2025, which have been revised upward from last year. So forecast global penetration has now increased to 25% of connections from 21% for 2025. Looking a little deeper, we can paint the picture of what has happened in the last 12 months to create this increase. So starting at number one, the percentage of smartphones has increased to 84% from 81% after enjoying a massive jump in global penetration of over 5% in the last year. The pandemic accelerated adoption of smartphones and the use of mobile broadband around the world has been a key step up for helping 5G along. Number two, a jump in 4G adoption, again driven by pandemic impact on usage and patterns and needs, has translated to a larger base migrating to 5G by 2025. The third point, operator CapEx investments are now moving faster to 5G than expected. On slightly higher industry revenues, we seeing a share of mobile operator CapEx increasing to 5G shares as earlier launches and larger rollouts occur. Number four is the accelerated shift to 5G has been based on a faster migration of users up through the other generations, rather than a significant increase in the total unique users. So what I mean there is more 2G people have moved to 3G to 4G than originally forecast. And that has created a stronger base for the adoption of 5G. But before we interpret these metrics into lessons for India, let's look at what's happening in APAC, where a lot of the accelerated adoption is occurring. So if we look at in APAC, we're now starting to consider what the meaning of the second wave of 5G launches occurs. This phase is dominated by India and other large population countries such as Indonesia. This wave of countries contain over 2 billion people, or more than 25% of the world's population. And they also share other characteristics such as dense urban areas and complex and large geographies, which will have proved challenging to cover with 4G. From an industry sustainability point of view, they have lower ARPU, below average spectrum allocations, and cautious investment climates within industry financials already strained from investments in 4G in previous generations. Looking at the forecast, we do expect an uptick in 5G adoption for 2025 from our 2021 forecast, buoyed by a jump in migration of 2G and 3G subscribers to 4G on the back of the pandemic recovery, leading to a forecast increase in 5G for 2025. But these metrics are a measure of subscriber adoption, and we need to keep in mind the measure of 5G success is the transformation and the longer-term economic contribution of 5G to that transformation. As we move from advanced industrial economies to the second wave, it is clear the journey to a 5G digital nation is not universally common, and we must apply lessons to local circumstances. Before we get into the lessons, I would like to highlight a key factor for 5G success. Remembering that success is 5G is economic growth, transformation of industry and economy for a more resilient and inclusive digital nation. The key factor for 5G success is a diverse, healthy, and sustainable and motivated ecosystem. 5G success is built on innovation. Innovation requires investment, innovation that solves real-world problems, innovation that creates efficiencies and economic growth, and innovation that builds a more resilient and inclusive digital economy. And innovation requires collaboration across the ecosystem, shared risk success, a tolerance for failure, and ability to learn. With this in mind, I would like to note some points that are worthy of commending so far in India's 5G journey. First, the GSMA would like to congratulate the TRI and DOT for the consultation process. There are a lot of matters, and we look forward to the next chapters in the journey continuing to be conducted through consultation. Second, the conduct of trials. To explore and test are a key step in any country's preparation for the launch of 5G. The reforms implemented last year to increase the financial stability of the industry and allow a more stable platform for 5G planning was welcome. And fourth, the commitment to global standardization helps accelerate global scale, but also India's role now and in the future of technology development. So, to the lessons. I've summarized the key lessons into 4 areas. First, spectrum policy and allocation to encourage and allow investment in the ecosystem. The ecosystem includes the government, and as mentioned before, success requires a balance of stakeholders with a common vision. The vision is economic growth and transformation success. Spectrum must be made available on reasonable and financially sustainable terms, and with a timetable of internationally aligned bands, with planning for new spectrum bands in the future. This is all to allow a stable and conducive investment environment. Number 2, bigger, faster, and more dense 5G networks require efficient deployment. Competition in infrastructure deployment have been key drivers of innovation in the mobile industry, but efficiency of deployment must be enabled with less burdensome rights of way and allowances for sharing. Third, continuing to grow the whole of government approach is a key factor. India has a rich history of the government stimulating investment and innovation with Aadhaar and the payment API. Adoption and use by the government provides confidence to investors and can provide an anchor use case to drive adoption. Finally, an active ecosystem curation. Stimulating the ecosystem as a platform for innovation is critical and not just for the individual stakeholders. Highlighting the potential and the growing ecosystem is critical for 5G digitalization growth. Investment in 5G competes with investment in previous generations and with other technology and digital development. So it's critical that an active ecosystem bringing together all the partners, such as government, the mobile operators, systems integrators, and entrepreneurs and investors is critical to being able to develop the innovation for growth. Our vision at GSMA is to unlock the full power of connectivity so that people, industry, and society thrive. 5G is part of that story, and the mobile industry will continue to be the foundation for that and what it does best. I'm encouraged by the progress in India towards 5G. However, I must caution that issues of industry sustainability remain, and potential for investment to drive innovation are at risk. I welcome today's event and as a step to ensuring we journey together towards a strong digital India. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gorman, for sharing some very critical points. Truly a very knowledge-rich session. Let's move on to the next session. Stay tuned.